Hello once again, people. How are you all doing? I hope you're feeling pretty well with yourselves. You know, I am feeling pretty well myself. It's a great sunny day outside, ain't it? Yes, it is. Actually, no. It's pretty cold. Well, that stinks. Let's play some more Quake to try and alleviate the frustration of how cold it is outside. Instead, let us play a random deathmatch level that has really nothing to do with anything. Uh, let's see here. Yep, you hear me well done up so that way I can talk to you about it. Why? Because I have a new level to show off. It's called Prepare to. Exactly. Prepare to die! 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 See? I'm not crazy! There are crazy Furbies out there. They want you to die, die, die. And that's what we're going to do today. Die, die, die. Also, this level is known as the kill in the loader and, well, the file name. But who cares about that? The actual level is really prepare to die, die, die! Okay, so, it's made by Ivan Palme. It's a small level with lava, teleports, water, and lifts. That basically explains it. It's kind of odd then that they say it's built for 16 players. Small level, 16 players. You realize the contradiction, right? Like, that doesn't even make sense. How can you have a small level, but then make it so 16 players can play this thing? Other than that, this is, as he said, it's, I wouldn't call this a small level, but in a way it is. Compared to everything else we played so far, this is another deathmatch level, but it feels a lot more lacking in gameplay. There's not really going to be much action here. We're going to see like a couple rotfish. I think there's like 4 rotfish. But other than that, there's nothing here. No enemies at all. So, yeah. Watch me as I wander around and pick up stuff. Yeah. So this is very borderline just pure deathmatch, but just as those 4 random rotfish to keep us entertained. And this is a style that will kind of carry over a lot to Aftershock. So, yeah, get ready for a lot of this style. It's not one of the reasons that kind of bugs me with certain Aftershock, because it's there, but it's not. It has 4 enemies, so you still could consider it something playable, but it's so minimal that is it even worth loading up? But that's aside the point. Ammo is low and health abundant. Expect to go hand to hand with your axes. Yeah. This is basically a deathmatch level where there's no guns. Pretty much the entire thing is based out of the shotgun and axe. Yeah. Do you remember when I said in the past how thematic levels of weaponry usually fall on their face? Like, you know, how DM1 did. I mean, that's the official level, and that fell on its face. But yet we have blatant imitators here. Something that it's basically just using the shotgun. They make for variety. It's different, but most people are just going to feel it's tedious. People want to kill things fast. if you're playing deathmatch, you usually go for something that kills people in a few seconds. So something that pot shots players to death is not really going to be anyone's idea of fun. At least not the mainstream. And that's the problem. If the mainstream doesn't play it, no matter how much fun you think it is, nobody's going to play it. So, how on earth are you ever going to enjoy it, even if it's good? And that's exactly the thing. It's the reason why Deathmatch 1 failed. And it's a reason why it's weird all these Deathmatch levels were getting made. Like I said, it's a weird thing to think about with Quake. Quake is a game where a lot of maps have been made for deathmatch, like thousands upon thousands. I would say there's a lot more deathmatch than single player any day of the week. But at the same time, deathmatch is very, very limited. Like, people don't get outside their cubes much. There's very little actual popular stuff. Um, Most people have like a couple monster in there. Nobody really plays vanilla anymore. But at the same time, nobody plays anything besides a small area. You don't see anyone touching like 99% of what exists out there. And so it makes it kind of useless. See, that's the thing. You talk about like a game like Morrowind. Most people modified that game. It's all going to be for single player because there's no multiplayer element. You talk about a game like Unreal even, and that game is mostly single player oriented. You talk about Thief. Thief is fully single player oriented. Thief is nowhere near the mods of whatchamacallit, Quake, but it's all single player. Here, you have to trade off, and so you get a lot of these multiplayer levels. I would say there's a lot more multiplayer levels than really like any other game out there. Maybe besides like Quake 3 maybe, or something like that that's fully multiplayer based. But the one thing you have to defend about any game really later than Quake is at least bots exist. The problem with vanilla Quake is there's no bots. And I haven't really touched many bots for Quake. I know there's some more in modern source ports and whatnot. And the era I was touching them, I believe I had a lot of issues. I believe I used like Easy Quake, and after like one game or so, the entire thing became faulty. I couldn't use it again. It was one of the reasons I couldn't get into it because I couldn't practice on the maps. Bots failed me every time. So it became frustrating to use. And a big part of the reason is because Quake isn't designed for bots. It definitely feels a lot less than something like Unreal or later, whereby bots are a part of the game, and therefore, even if you're playing a multiplayer level, you still have playability as a single player. Here, there's nothing to do, so you just walk around in multiplayer levels, and that's about it. It's not really the best of situations. But hopefully we'll eventually find some mod or something that'll change the way we play multiplayer. But so far I haven't seen anything. They again haven't covered many mods yet. Mostly been covering maps. So as we go along, we might see something that changes the way we think of it. But for the time being, Vanilla Quake, it's totally pointless. It's a bunch of maps that exist but don't offer any gameplay whatsoever. And that's not a lot of fun. I would rather play a bunch of single player levels any day of the week. Even comparing bots to actual single player, bots just feel less meaningful, and I prefer more meaning in my games, therefore tend to prefer single player because of that. I like exploration and going places, not fighting an arena generally. I do like the appeal of deathmatch. I play I can play deathmatch, but it just doesn't feel the same as full out exploration. Um, but that's just personal taste, as everything I say. But I'm gonna say it anyway, and you're gonna listen to me because you're here. Anyway, let's load this thing up. I've been talking for 10 minutes. I've talked for as long as the last level took to load it up, play it, and quit it. Isn't that pretty sad? I tell you, I have no consistency with these, but that's kind of the point. Do whatever it takes and just do it. Yeah, just do it! Yeah, it's more fun that way. Why am I like sinking left? Oh, it's because I'm on a ramp. I see. But there we are. Prepare to die, die, die. Beautiful, huh? Let's pick up these shells. And, more shells. As I said, everything in here is shells. There's some water above me, but I can't reach it right away. And there's lava. Yeah. Ain't this fun? Ain't this entertaining? Lava. And, what else? Like I said, we kind of finished all the single player levels, so really at this point it's just kind of finishing it all up. The nice thing is there's less of these than there are like full single player levels compared to like Aftershock, whereby these type of levels will appear a lot. And that's one reason I kind of get bugged by Aftershock in comparison to this. Because at least this ends soon enough. There it kind of drags on for ages. So yeah. Let's see, let's drop in the lava and die. Why not? Because as you see, the only time you actually get injured is when you jump. So you can walk around in the lava as you see. Look at this, I'm walking around in lava. Totally doesn't matter. It's only when you jump that it hurts you. So like, ta-da, see, it hurts you. But there we are. Now, if I'm correct, in each one of these four corners, there is a platform. They will allow you to get to Nets 4. You know what? It's pretty good, actually, that we have the staircase here, because there's no other way to really go. My god, why are you limiting me on that? Like, is there a strategic reason to come over here versus there? But yeah, 4 elevators. Let's just go up one, because it really doesn't matter. They all lead to the same area. Fishes! Let's kill them. One down. Get some help, because health is good to not die. As you can imagine, this is the one area with the 4 rotfish I was talking about. One at each corner, so there's no real interest or variety at all going on here. It's go to corner, shoot rotfish. Go to next corner, shoot rotfish. Wait a minute. Oh god! Of course I bumped right into the 4th rotfish. I was gonna say, I didn't see where he went. They kind of misplaced the 3rd, and so the 4th kind of got confusing, but that's aside the point. As you see, there's 4 holes for the water. That of course means that's the areas back down. It's as predictable as you'd think it would be. Yeah. This level is very, very samey and symmetrical. And John Romero has said stuff about symmetrical levels in the past. You really don't want that. And this kind of shows why. It gets boring very, very fast. It's there, but it's pretty meh, honestly. Okay, let's get off this elevator and see what there is. This way leads around. I think it leads this side too. Oh look, random skull. And I randomly accidentally teleport back down. Hooray. Yeah, there's random teleports here. It depends totally on what side you're facing or what's going on. It's very funky. We have to be careful of that. Like, as you see, I just bumped into a teleporter that teleports you back down because reasons. We're ready for a pointless teleporter. So if I choose this way, this is the wrong way to go! Wrong way to go! This way. And then we say, here's a thing, a hole in the wall. This way leads around to where we were before. We don't want that. We want to instead go this way. Wait a minute! How did that teleport me? Why things decide to randomly teleport me at different times? Let's see here. So you can see, you could jump out the hole. And there we are. Outside the hole of reality. And there's holes that lead back down to the lower floor. Don't really matter at all, but they're there. They're a thing. There's also this teleporter down here. As you can totally see. Random teleporter. And yeah, that pretty much is it. So if you run into this just teleports you back. It's totally useless. And this one you can't reach. So what happens if I go in here? You go back. Alright, ow, that hurt. Up we go! Let's see what the other teleporters do in this fun place. A fun house of misery or so. Okay, this way, down here, out the door. This way is the bad way to go. You want to hop down here, follow all the way around. You should get to another teleporter that leads somewhere. And by that, I mean the inside of the map. So you see it just randomly teleports you outside. But as you can see, that's a big point of it. There's a bunch of random teleporters just up at here. You can use it to teleport to the lower floor or here. But at the end of the day, that's all it really is. A bunch of teleporters that blunder around while you shoot things with the shotgun. There's really no strategy to where you go. All you gotta do is go to the middle area to heal. But other than that, there's really not much to do. Wander around aimlessly and shoot your friends! Yeah. Overall, a pretty boring level for people to play because, like I said, nobody really wants to pot-shot their enemies to death. It kinda gets pretty tedious, especially when you have a bunch of health below. So it's more, you'll pot-shot them a few times, they'll run down, they'll heal up, and that pretty much is it. It gets pretty much as dull as that. And in single player, we have the benefit of 4 fish, because fish are probably the most least interesting foes you can throw here. So you see the elevators lead up to the top floor too. So it's like no reason to use the central area at all. Like, why does the central area even exist? Like, what's the benefit? I'm trying to figure out the benefit of the central area. It just feels kind of there. Honestly, it'd feel better to fight up here, heal down there, and you basically can control the map. Like, I have shells up here. Shells all around here. I drop down, I heal, I wait for you to come back. Ta-da! I've gotten the perfect control of the map. Ain't that brilliant? No! That's terrible! But nobody listens to me! Mainly because these was made back in '96. It's now 2016. But that's aside the point! Why didn't they use their crystal balls? Um, so yeah, this is really a dull mission. Of course, it does nothing for me in single player. Um, Mainly because there's really nowhere to go. At the end of the day, it is better than a one room map, but it really is just like a three-room map. You have a lava area, a water section in the middle, and an area above it. And the problem is, the entire thing is so symmetrical that you see one corner, you've seen it all. It really is that dull. Um, you have some frustrating teleporters at the top that really give you no clue where you're going, or even have it like there's like invisible teleporters or whatnot just for no reason. And it's not really like a negative to get teleported because there's no reason to be not at the bottom. Like, there's no point to any of it. Because the only thing in the level is a shotgun, there's no real reason to go anywhere besides to get some shells. So it gets kind of pointless because shells are everywhere and health is everywhere. He said there's no health, but there's a bunch of health in the middle. So why wouldn't you just use that as the control spot? Get some health, shells, the end. It just feels pointless. And that's pretty much just the point of the level. It's pointless. Um, who wants to shoot some fish? And in deathmatch, who wants to pot shot their enemies to death? So all around, it's pretty much a boring level that exists for no one. It really serves no purpose for anyone anywhere. Ain't that brilliant level? Sad, it has an interesting name. Um, Definitely I like the name idea of die, die, die. That's pretty creative, I guess. It's random. You can't say you've seen this before, but the level itself is pretty boring. That pretty much is the only way to describe it. There's just nothing to do. Nowhere to go. Nothing to really look at besides three rooms. It just stands out as being a pretty boring adventure. Even more than like the other levels. Like this makes Penta or one of the other levels we played recently, not Spiral Degeneration, that's just terrible, but like any of the other multiplayer levels we played recently, or even the more boring single player ones like Arena 2 or whatever. Actually, no, Arena 2 is Deathmatch. Arena 1 was not. Welcome to the Arena. But yeah, no matter what, it basically felt like all those levels had more interaction to them and would play better as deathmatch levels because of the fact of the matter that there's more guns. Getting rid of guns out of the equation, there's no motivation to go anywhere or do anything. And it gets pretty pointless. Maybe if the shotgun was powerful, but nobody wants to pot shot enemies because people just drop down heal and be back at full. And there's too much health to allow that. If you're gonna pull this off, you gotta do it with like no health packs anywhere, so there's repercussions for getting pot shotted. But nope, no, there's a bunch of health to a point that really it's a matter of, well, getting pot shot, heal. Honestly, if you die in this level, it's pretty sad. You really gotta be really persistent on trying to kill someone instead of just like healing up constantly. Like I said, there's way too much health here. But that's beside the point. Anyway, thank you very much all for watching. I know it's pretty boring, but we're luckily near the end of Dark Hour. Then we can check out Aftershock. But for the time being, yeah, this is pretty much how Dark Hour ends. Out on a dull simmer. Yeah, it's like after all the experimentation, all the interesting levels like abstractions, flooded, all those, even the ones that were more frustrating but still had some different design like the cage or stuff like that. Um, Now we just have something that's really boring. And not the best way to end it. And like I said, in single player and multiplayer, this level just doesn't work. Anyway, thank you very much all for watching. It has been an adventure, and I shall see you all next time.